Hello everyone, this is Manish R. K. Sahu, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, SIPMT, Raipur. Let's move to the next topic, that is the characteristics of an instrument. What do you mean by the characteristics of an instrument? The parameter which gives appropriate description of quality of the instrument are known as the characteristics of an instrument. For example, my height is 5 feet 11 inch, that is my quality. So the height of 5 feet 11 inch is one of the characteristics of myself, right? That is my characteristics. So there are two characteristics of any measuring instrument. First is a static characteristics and second is dynamic characteristics. Let's see the static characteristics. The characteristics involved in the measurement of quantities that are either constant or slowly varying with time. What do you mean by static? Static means stationary. So the characteristics, the measurement of quantities, if they are very constant for all the situation of the instrument, all the conditions of the instrument, or slowly varying with time, then these characteristics are known as static characteristics. To define a set of criteria that gives meaningful description of quality of measurement are called the static characteristics. Description which gives meaningful description, like 5 feet 11 inch is giving a description of my height, right? Similarly, static characteristics gives meaningful description of quality of measurement. So there are 11 types of static characteristics. First one is range and span, second is scale readability, third repeatability and reproducibility, fourth drift, fifth noise, sixth dead time and dead zone, 7 sensitivity, 8 linearity, 9 accuracy and precision, 10 hysteresis, and 11 threshold and resolution, right? So these are the static characteristics of a measuring instrument, right? So first is range and span. What is range? The difference between the largest and smallest reading of an instrument is called the range of an instrument. It's not an algebraic difference. For example, if you are having a ruler scale, the lowest reading is 0 centimeter and the maximum reading is 15 centimeter on the scale, then the range is known as 0 to 15 or 0 centimeter to 15 centimeter. What is the range of that scale? Is 0 centimeter to 15 centimeter, right? It is used for both analog as well as digital instruments and also known as scale range, right? On another hand, span is known as the algebraic difference between upper and lower reading of the instrument, and this term is used for both instrument, analog instrument and for digital instrument. So what is the meaning of span? Suppose you are having a ruler scale and the minimum reading is 0 centimeter, maximum reading is 16 centimeter, then the span will be 16 minus 0 is equal to 16 centimeter. So we can say the range of that scale is 0 to 16 centimeter. I say the range is 0 to 15 of that ruler scale and the span is 15 centimeter or 16 centimeter. So this is the difference between range and span. So this was the first characteristics of an instrument. Second is scale readability. You can see here. It indicates the closeness with which the scale of an analog type instrument can be read. It is the quality of instrument, whether you can read the instrument properly or not. So it depends upon the following factors: number of graduations, size of pointer, spacing between graduations, right? So number of graduation, you have seen many times in ruler scale. I am giving an example of ruler scale, like this is your ruler scale, and it is having number of lines. So these are known as graduations. Size of pointer, if you are having a dial indicator and pointer size is very small, you can not read, you are not able to read the what is the output of an instrument. So this quality is known as scale readability. You are able to read or not the instrument properly. Next is repeatability and reproducibility. So first we see repeatability. It describes the closeness of output reading when the same input is applied continuously over a short period of time with the same measurement condition, same instrument, same observer and same location maintained throughout. Suppose you want to measure the temperature of a particular person's body, right? So repeatability is the continuity of a output reading, right? Whether it is giving the same result for the same measurement condition, for the same instrument, same observer, same location. Suppose I want to take temperature of my body and I am using a thermometer, and thermometer reading is 98.3. After 1 hour I am taking the same instrument, I am having a same instrument and it is also reading is 98.3. then this is the quality of repeatability, this is the quality of instrument. Reproducibility, there is a quite difference between repeatability and reproducibility. It describes as the closeness of the output reading for same input. If your input is 98.3 degrees Celsius, so there are changes is methods of measurement, observer, location, atmospheric condition and the time of measurement. If our input is 98.3 degrees Celsius, so no matter what and who is using the instrument, if I am using the thermometer and it is given the same output 97.3 and some different person is using the same thermometer with and also it is given 97.3 with the different atmospheric condition, then this quality is known as reproducibility, right? So repeatability and reproducibility are quite different. Next characteristics is a drift. Drift is an undesirable characteristics of any measuring instruments. It is an unwanted variation in the instrument reading over a period of time. Suppose your instrument is not giving proper reading, that means your instrument is having drift for same input and for same operating condition. No drift means there is no variation in instrument reading with time. Suppose your instrument is today is giving 98.3 degrees Celsius of particular temperature of particular area, and tomorrow or after 10 days it is giving 100 degrees Celsius for the same input, it is giving the different reading. It means it is having, your instrument is suffering from drift. Causes of drift: first, mechanical stress, second, wear and tear, third, temperature change, fourth, electric and magnetic field. The very basic example of a drift is your speedometer of a vehicle. After some years it is feeling drift like situation. Okay. There are three types of drift: zero drift, zero error, pointer is not in zero, sensitive drift, device becomes way less sensitive, and zonal drift in a particular zone. For example, you are having a speedometer and from 30 km per hour to 40 km per hour it is showing the wrong reading, wrong output. It means it is known as zonal drift because it is in a particular area, particular zone. Sensitive drift, device becomes less sensitive. You are giving the input but output is not coming properly, right? Noise, like drift, noise is also an unwanted or undesirable phenomena. It is unwanted signal superimposed upon signal of interest, right? What it means, if you want to measure the pressure but you are not getting the pressure value and some different signal is superimposed upon the pressure signal, then it is known as noise and therefore causing a deviation of output from its expected value. Your desired output is suppose 5.5 centimeter, but your output is, your actual output is 4.6. that means it is showing an error, so it is known as noise. It can be generated outside or inside the system, right? Types of noises: generated noise, when the noise is generated by the instrument; conducted noise, because of any other instrument, your measuring instrument is influenced by some other instrument, so this is known as conducted noise. Third one is radiated noise. Radiated noise, through the signal some magnetic field affects your instrument, that is known as radiated noise. Sensitivity, basically mathematically it is defined as output signal upon input signal. Suppose your input is 5 degrees Celsius and your output is 4.5 degrees Celsius, so the sensitivity will be 4.5 upon 5, and in general it is defined as the response of measuring instrument to the quantity being measured. This is your response and this is response of the instrument. If both are same, it means your instrument is 100% sensitive, right? The sensitivity of any instrument should be high as it is represented by the slope of calibration curve. Okay, what is calibration curve? The curve between input and output is known as calibration curve, right? So this is the most sensitive. This instrument is showing more sensitivity than Z2 and Z3, right? So this is the slope of calibration curve. Slope of calibration curve is known as sensitivity, and mathematically it is given by output signal upon input signal, right? Linearity, it is the best characteristics of any measuring instrument. It is desirable property of the measuring instrument in which the output is proportional to the input. Input is proportional to output. Let's see a curve. Pressure, input pressure is given and sensor output is given. If we plot a curve between input and output, we are getting the actual curve. So it is close to the actual curve is close to our best fit line, straight line. So this phenomena is known as linearity. If our instrument is showing a linear curve linear curve or input and output are linearly proportional to each other, then this property is known as linearity. If your linearity curve is straight line like this, it means your instrument is very good and it is having good performance. It's a performer, right? Accuracy and precision. Accuracy, it is the closeness which an instrument reading approaches to the true value of quantity being measured, right? If your desired value is 100 degrees Celsius and your instrument is giving 99.99 degrees Celsius, it means it is accurate. Another instrument which is given 95 degrees Celsius for the same desired value, so 98 degrees Celsius is more close to 100 degrees Celsius and 95 degrees Celsius is comparatively less close to the 100 degrees Celsius. So we can say the first instrument which is giving 98 Celsius is more accurate than second instrument which is giving 95 degrees Celsius, but our desired value is 100 degrees Celsius. Precision, it is the measure of consistency or reproducibility. The term precise means clearly or sharp defined, right? My desired value is 100 degrees Celsius, right? Now, if my instrument is showing 98.3 degrees Celsius daily means whenever I take reading, my instrument is showing 98.3 degrees Celsius, right? My desired value is 100 degrees Celsius. So it is a consistent, my instrument is consistent, it means my instrument is having large value of precision or it is a more precise. So my first instrument is having a reading 98.3 degrees Celsius, it is showing every time the same reading 98.3, it is a persistent, it is a consistent. So it is the measurement of consistency of or reproducibility of the measurement, right? So my first instrument is a accurate as well as precise, right? So let's see the difference between precision and accuracy. It is the closeness to the true value of the quantity. Second, it is the measure of reproducibility or consistency. If my desired value is 100 degrees Celsius and my instrument is given 95 degrees Celsius, it is not accurate, but the same reading 95 degrees Celsius is giving all the time, daily, whenever I take readings, it is showing 95 degrees Celsius. It means my instrument is not accurate, but it is precise. The accuracy of measurement means conformity to the truth, but the term precision means consistency of the output result. I have told you earlier. It can be improved, your accuracy can be improved, precision cannot be improved. It depends upon simple techniques. It depends upon many factors and requires many additional techniques of analysis. It is necessary but not a sufficient condition for precision, right? It is not necessary that an accurate instrument is a, you cannot say an accurate instrument is a precise instrument. Also, you can also not say that your instrument is precise. It is necessary but not a sufficient condition for precision. Similarly, precision is necessary but not a sufficient condition for accuracy, right? Like 95 degrees Celsius is giving number of times the same result, 95 degrees Celsius instrument, but it is precise but it is not the accurate instrument, right? So this was the difference between accuracy and precision. Hysteresis, it is a non-coincidence of loading and unloading curve. It arises due to the fact that all the energy gain is not recoverable during unloading. Hysteresis is commonly physical, chemical and mechanical phenomena. Hysteresis because of irreversibility. So first line, it is a non-coincidence of loading and unloading curve. When we put load on the instrument, we give the input the instrument. For example, if you are increasing the temperature of the room, so you are providing the input data to your instrument like 5 degrees Celsius, 10 degrees Celsius, 15 degrees Celsius. So this is known as loading curve. If you make a curve, this giving of input is known as loading curve. If you remove the load or decrease the value of temperature or decrease the value of pressure, then you draw a curve. It is known as unloading curve. So you can see the loading curve and unloading curve both are not coincidence. So this non-coincidence is known as hysteresis. It is due to some losses. You can see the picture. We are having a Bourdon tube pressure gauge. We are increasing the value of pressure gauge, true reading of pressure, gauge reading of pressure. We make a curve. This pink curve is known as loading curve. Suddenly we remove the pressure values of pressure, then we draw a curve and it is showing, it is coming back like this fashion. So you can see there is a gap between loading and unloading curve. So this non-coincidence of loading and unloading curve is known as hysteresis. Threshold and resolution. Threshold, it is the minimum value of input which is necessary to cause detectable change from 0. Minimum value of input which is necessary to cause detectable change from 0. Suppose your input is 0 degree Celsius and output is 0 degree Celsius. If input is 1 degree Celsius, output is again 0 degree Celsius. If your input is 3 degrees Celsius, your output is 3 degrees Celsius. So this is 3 degrees Celsius is known as threshold because it is the minimum value of input which is necessary to cause detectable change from 0, right? Same, your input is 0, output is 0. Input 0.5, output is 0. Input 0.55, output is 0. Input 0.56 and output is 0.5. So it is an increase of 0 to 0.5. So there is change, detectable change from 0. So this value, the minimum value of input, the 0.56 is the threshold. This is threshold 0.56. What is resolution? When the input is increased from some value, it is observed that output does not change. You can see here in the same picture. Thus, resolution is smallest value of input for which there will be change in output, right? So the resolution is the smallest value of input change. It is wrong. It is not input. It's a input change. Mark my words. Input change for which there will be change in output. So just see the output. Where is the change? Here is the change from 0 to 0.5. So for 0.55 it's 0. For 0.56 it is 0.5. So difference between 0.56 and 0.55 is known as resolution, and the value of resolution is 0.01. So this is threshold and resolution, right? Dead time and dead zone. Let's see dead time. The time required by measurement system to begin to respond to a change in measurand is called dead time. You are giving an input 0, output is 0, you are giving an input 1 and output is also 1, but it is taking some time. This time is known as dead time. Similarly, dead zone, the largest change in input quantity for which there is no output of the instrument is called dead zone. It may occur due to friction in an analog instrument which does not allow the pointer to move till sufficient driving force is developed. Right? So, it is the quality of analog instrument. Your instrument is delaying the output. Your instrument is not able to respond the input, right? This is known as dead zone. You can see the diagram. This is the line of input and this is line of output, right? So there is a difference between time difference. Input is given in this time, but output is started from this time. So this time gap is known as dead time. Similarly, input is given this and output is given this. So input value is larger than the output value. So this zone is known as dead zone, right? So this was the dead time and dead zone. So we have completed the static characteristics.